Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex.
And I'm Jay.
And we got some news updates for you from around the land of smiles this Friday, June 13th. Spooky day. Before we begin, please remember to subscribe to the Thaiger to stay up to date on all things Thailand. Now, today, the news is all about sniffing in all the wrong ways. We're talking about a serial panty sniffer in Udon Thani. Bangkok port seizing 736,000 kilograms of hazardous red dust. Don't sniff that. And a little later, Phuket's waste odor crisis worsening in rainy season. Now, before we get into our series of sniffing stories, could we hear a quick word about our sponsor, Jay?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when you move into a new apartment, it might smell a little, sniffy and fishy. But you don't want to deal with your landlord yourself. So what do? You get yourself a sales agent. And how much easier is it made through Fazwaz?
Yeah.
Because they've got hundreds of agents speaking multiple languages, and they'll sort you out whether you're buying, renting, or selling in Thailand.
Don't deal with the foul odors of your current living situation. Get out of there.
Fazwaz.com.
And they will help you out. All right. Is that a good plug, guys?
Yeah.
Nice.
They'll deal with all your problems.
They will. That's the idea. All right. Well, fun. Okay, let's move on. Our first story today. Okay, this was. Do you remember the cash that was found in the garbage?
Yeah, I'd give like 2 updates about that.
Right. Well, apparently it's inspiring a lot of mimicry.
Okay.
And it's led to some unfortunate incidents. Now, a Thai security guard assaults some boys who were searching for hidden cash in the trash. Uh-oh. 2 11-year-old boys in Nonthaburi were assaulted by a condominium security guard after searching a rubbish area for hidden cash, inspired by the recent news story about 12 million baht found in a condo's trash. One boy was slapped, and the other was struck with a metal pan. Very cartoony. The boy's parents filed a police complaint alleging excessive force. I'd say so. Though the guard apologized, legal action is ongoing. The guard claims the boys ignored warnings and plans to countersue after being punched by one of the boys' fathers. Not great. Okay. Yeah, obviously the kids were not supposed to be there. Supposed to be snooping through the trash or something like that. Physically assaulting 11-year-old boys, not a good thing either.
What counts as assault? Was it you just started slapping or hitting 11-year-olds, or was it just like, hey, get out of here, you pesky kids?
I think that's one thing. Grab them by the scruff of the collar or something like that maybe is an acceptable thing. But then, bonking them over the head with the metal pan, that's assault with a weapon.
Some security guards do behave that way. I'm not even as an adult. Like, we don't have to look too far.
Yeah.
Give an example of where our office is. Some of the security guards think they have a lot of power, which I'm like, it's so unnecessary. Like, just be cool.
Yeah, rent-a-cops, damn. But no, okay. Security guards are a big part of why so many people do feel safe in Thailand, I think.
No, I don't. I've never felt safe with a security guard in Thailand.
Have you? Security guards, yeah.
When have you ever felt safe? The level of security here is absolutely not up to par, in my opinion.
This is spoken like someone who has spent very little time in America because, that is just... Like the authority figures there are much, much more frightening than they are over here.
Yeah, I guess. You have trauma.
I sure do.
Yeah.
It's not good.
All right. Well, we'll move on to our next story. That takes us to a Phuket school and a Chinese mafia linked to 40 million baht visa scam. A student visa scam in Phuket has defrauded victims of over 40 million baht, with police investigating ties between a private international school and a Chinese criminal network. Victims say they were misled by a woman named Pacharin who promised visas via School A and Company B. Police suspect nominee arrangements were used to skirt Thai ownership laws implicating a board member. Authorities urge the public to avoid intermediaries and submit visa applications through official channels as the investigation continues.
Yeah, this is constant news here. There's always some sort of Chinese sketchy organization offering visas in some sketchy kinds of ways.
And this doesn't sound like the visa scam where foreigners are trying to get kind of a long-term stay in Thailand by learning Thai. This is more of families trying to move their kids to international schools and getting scammed out of millions. Because, those international schools ain't cheap.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once that money's gone, it's gone. There's no getting it back. So it is much better to try and go through official channels, people with actual proven track records, rather than cutting the corners, because you might end up spending all that money and getting absolutely nothing in the end.
There you go. This is a classic Alex story.
Guess what, guys? CCTV has caught a man. What was he doing? He was sniffing underwear at an Udon Thani dorm. Ew! CCTV in Udon Thani captured a man sniffing not women's, but men's underwear.
Interesting.
From a dormitory clothes rack before fleeing on a motorcycle. The footage, posted online by a local named Ball, appropriately named, shows the man helmeted and dressed in black and red, acting suspiciously at 3:30 a.m. Though no items were stolen, Ball shared the video to warn others. Similar incidents involving underwear theft have occurred recently in other Thai provinces, some tied to mental health or drug use. The police report was filed in this case. Oh, no police report, excuse me.
I see. I feel like this case was more of a theft kind of thing. I don't think it was... I don't know what's going on, but my assumption is that it didn't seem perverted. It was just like quick sniff test to see if I can steal this or not. Oh, you know, I need some extra boxers. That's what I would assume is going on.
Could be. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I was just thinking this is typically something that women have to watch out for a little bit more. Apparently, the men are not
beware.
safe either.
Udon Thani is not safe.
Yeah.
For your underwear.
Indeed. So hang them up on your balcony somewhere you can lock them away. I don't know. This is told you some classic tiger tales today.
All right. Well, moving on. Bangkok port seizes over 736,000 kg of hazardous red dust. What? Thai authorities intercepted over 736,000 kilograms of illicit red dust, a hazardous industrial waste, at Bangkok port on June the 10th. The illegal shipment, imported without permits, was linked to KMC 1953 Co. Limited and distributed to recycling plants. Lab tests confirmed the dust contained toxic substances like lead and cadmium, violating the Basel Convention and Thailand's Hazardous Substances Act. Officials plan to return the waste to its country of origin and prosecute those responsible, making a major step in curbing environmental crimes.
What I think is interesting about this story is that they did not say, it wasn't reported what the country of origin was. I think it's so weird. And the red dust, 736,000 kilograms of that. That's absolutely insane. That's going to be like the majority of whatever the shipment was coming in. I'm interested to see, what was the plan? Were they supposed to like pay off some authorities, or did they just think, what? It's just industrial toxic waste. What's wrong with bringing this into Thailand?
The red dust.
Yeah, I don't know. The red dust. When I first read it, I was like, is this some new street drug? Has the red dust hit the streets yet? Anybody tried red dust? No. Okay, I guess not. All right. Well, moving on. Okay. Stinky news. We still have more stinky news.
Let's go.
Phuket's waste odor crisis has worsened during the rainy season. Yummy. I am ruining Kasna's breakfast, by the way. Phuket is facing a worsening odor crisis as heavy rains and an overburdened landfill at Saphon Hin intensify the stench across the city. With over 1,200 tons of daily waste and one incinerator under repair, rubbish is piling up in landfills, spreading foul smells that affect both locals and tourists. Officials plan to build drainage canals and urge the public to reduce organic waste, which is particularly hard to manage in wet conditions. The situation has become a pressing environmental and health concern.
That's a part of Phuket you don't get to see every day. But I would obviously look. They have an overpile and it's smelling bad, but it can be argued that many different parts of Phuket are a little smelly when there's a heavy rain because of the lack of drainage system and just overall dirt and garbage around.
Phuket, more like Phuket.
What?
Sorry. Okay. I love Phuket, by the way.
We're gonna forgive you for that one and move on. But have you? Okay, look. I think Thailand's still fairly a clean place. Some people, comparing it to some Western countries and this and that, I can understand why they might feel like, oh, there's rubbish everywhere or it's a trashy city. But I think it's still fairly clean compared to like, more densely populated countries like, dare I say, some parts of India or Philippines, But Do you ever feel like going around Bangkok? Let's just go with Bangkok, for example. Like, you ever feel like a bad stench from drains or trash?
No, it's pretty good.
You just got used to it?
Yeah, maybe I have. I don't know, because I used to live in China and there was an issue there too. But I feel like that here in East Asia, they're doing a bit better job than they have in the past. Another thing too about the Phuket situation, the incinerators on the fritz or something like that. They're down an incinerator, and that is why, especially as the tourism ramps up, there's going to be more. Well, I mean, we're in slow season, but it's still a major destination.
Yeah. And
so I don't know.
unfortunately, the trash keeps piling up. You can't just tell the people, "Hey guys, can we just pause on the trash for a day?"
Yeah, exactly. This is not how it works. So they need to get that back up and running, and maybe divert some of these tax dollars to addressing the issue.
All right, well, moving on to our next story. A spiritual medium's accused of swindling Thai women out of 50 million baht. Spiritual scams in Thailand. A Thai tomboy named Som accused a spiritual medium couple of swindling her out of 50 million baht over 9 years. Som claims she was manipulated into making repeated donations after being promised spiritual help during her mother's illness. She eventually moved in with the couple who allegedly controlled her finances. After a falling out, Som filed a complaint but found evidence of only 19 million baht in transfers. The couple denies wrongdoing, claiming they acted with good intentions and spent the money on charity. Only took her about 9 years. To figure it out.
That's a weird thing. I mean, it's people in those desperate situations end up turning to people who are willing to take advantage of them. I don't know.
And I think some people are aware that, Thai people believe in superstitions. A lot of people are very religious. But yeah, there's another level where a lot of the high-so or elite society of Thailand as well is extremely religious. And just like, a lot of religious people, they have their own priests and monks that they really believe in. And if some of these monks are like, hey, jump off a cliff, they'll jump off a cliff. Like, you'd think that that's stupid, but a lot of them believe that they've gained this wealth or good health and everything because of these reasons. And everyone needs some faith and something to believe in.
Yeah, it sucks to see, but not to victim blame or anything like that, but that's a lot of money, and I'm wondering, could this money have been spent better on actually helping your mother?
This person is wealthy enough to not realize that the money even went away, so they must be loaded.
I guess so.
When you have too much money.
Yeah, it ends up going to silly things. Well, anyways, that'll do it for our Thailand section of the news, actually. Before we get into the ASEAN Now section, we'll hear a quick word from our sponsors at Fazwas. Time.
Wow. I feel refreshed.
Yeah, thank you,
What was
Fazwas. I'm just doing my
Kawaii.
moves. Yeah. Ka-ding.
Can I tell you something?
What's that?
Oh, sorry, before Fazwas, guys,
Yeah.
buy your property from Fazwas.
Oh, yeah.
Do me a favor. Buying, renting, selling, Fazwas.com.
Tell them we sent you.
All right.
All right.
Now, I had the pleasure to hang out with some lovely Japanese people actually last weekend. So my friend was in town. He introduced me to some other friends, and there were 3 wonderful, smart, beautiful Japanese women. And it was so interesting to have dinner with them because, these words that you kind of grow up with are normal for them.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
kawaii means cute.
Yeah.
Did you know that oishi means...
Delicious.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So oishi is a very famous, popular brand in Thailand. And they, funnily enough, they sell Japanese food and green tea and stuff like that. So while eating, because the Japanese people are also very polite, they want to give compliments to the restaurant and stuff. So every time they have something, they're like, oh, oishi. And I'm just like, why do you keep saying green tea all the time? That's how I felt.
Yeah. That's not it.
But yeah, that's not it.
Oishi desu.
And then when we're talking or something, they will say, kawaii, that's so cute.
Yeah.
How the sticky rice comes in that brown box? I mean,
Mushy.
yeah, they're so nice that everything's impressive to them. So they're like, kawaii. And I'm like, I love Japanese people.
Yeah, so it's
They're so cool.
In my book, Japanese and French are the 2 most beautiful languages in the world. I actually learned a bit of Japanese.
Did you?
Yeah, I can speak it a little bit. I get enough survival to get around and stuff.
Was that when you lived on the streets of Okinawa?
It was Osaka.
Oh.
No, I did not. I was a street rat in
Well, one of our own,
Dontaburi.
Milky, is from a village in Okinawa.
Right, that's true. Yeah, she comes from a long line of
Okinawans.
of Okinawa.
That is true.
All right. That's enough of that. I'm dying. We got to talk Japan later.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Our first story, we got a crossover with the ASEAN region. And again, we're giving you just more updates on the conflict that's been going on between Thailand and Cambodia. We're still 2 days away, or actually 1 day, it should be tomorrow, for those joint conversations that should be held in Phnom Penh. But we got some Western powers sticking their nose in as Emmanuel Macron is offering help in the Cambodia-Thailand border dispute. French President Emmanuel Macron has offered to mediate the Cambodia-Thailand border dispute, expressing readiness to provide supporting documents if needed. During a meeting with Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet in France, Cambodia reaffirmed its four-point peace-based approach, including referring disputed temple area to the International Court of Justice, or ICJ, and continuing bilateral talks through the Joint Boundary Commission. Macron did not propose a direct solution, but signaled France's willingness to assist diplomatically. Which is good news because this is a lot of this issue could be traced back to French colonial map drawing. A lot of this issue, I mean, it's a multifaceted issue where religion comes into play, the patriotism comes into play, nationalism. So the fact that France wants to help to mediate, I think is just, it's a good thing. Will it actually amount to anything? I don't. We'll see. Good luck, Macron.
There we go. All right, moving on to our next story. This is a little bit of a serious one and something that is going extremely, obviously dominating all the headlines around the world. Air India jet crashes in Ahmedabad, killing 241 in first ever Boeing 787 fatal accident. An Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner crashed shortly after takeoff in Ahmedabad, killing 241 people with just one survivor. The flight bound for London crashed into a residential area, killing both passengers and several people on the ground, including medical students. The plane reportedly split mid-air before exploding. This marks the first fatal crash involving a 787. Investigations are underway and global condolences have poured in. British officials pledged support with many UK nationals among the victims. Yeah.
Wild to me. So the survivor was in seat 11A, which they were saying was sort of like a Goldilocks zone where there was enough room at the front of the plane for, some crumple or some space there. And it wasn't behind where the fuel was, which would have exploded backwards. So he was just in this perfect place. Wild story.
Yeah.
The fact that he was able to survive.
And the video's surreal too, of him just walking on his own 2 feet on the street when more than 200 people died. I mean, and I can't even imagine the processing that he's gonna have to do for however long it takes him. But I mean, I don't know, man. This is a little bit. I think everyone can relate to something. Everyone's been on an airplane. Everybody travels. I mean, our hearts and prayers go out to there. I've worked in airlines for 2 years. I have close friends of mine who fly on a daily basis. So, I mean, it hits a bit differently. But I think, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the lost ones.
Also have to say, another Boeing? I have friends now that are very particular about not getting on Boeing flights and this kind of news.
Statistically, you're more likely to die walking on the streets than actually flying on an airplane. And yes, when incidents like this happen, obviously the fear of flying is only increased. But
not to mention, of course, obviously the main focus is on the victims right now, but of course this will have impacts on markets. It will have impacts on jobs and things like that too.
Hold on, Tony's got a good comment. Tony says it was a Boeing 787. Yes, Dreamliner is a 787. Did I say 787 or 747?
No, it was 787.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we sure?
Yes.
For some reason I thought I saw a 747.
You want to see the script again? Hold on, it's right here. 787 Dreamliner.
Okay, 787 Dreamliner. Okay. There we go.
All right, we do appropriate news. We research. All right.
Yeah.
The first 787 crash, though. Pretty crazy. All right. Anyways, let's move on to our next story where we're heading off to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And talking about travel delays, the storm known as Wutip has halted flights and disrupted travel across Vietnam. Storm Wutip has grounded flights and stranded thousands in central Vietnam, particularly at Da Nang International Airport, where multiple flights were canceled, diverted, or forced to turn back. Airlines like Vietnam Airlines and Vietjet experienced major disruptions, with ripple delays affecting over 32 flights. Storm Wutip, now near Hainan Island with winds up to 88 kilometers per hour, is bringing torrential rain and threatens flooding and landslides. Authorities from warn travel disruptions, and severe weather will continue into Friday. That's today. Well, better to play it safe and ground the flights than run the risk of getting through them. 88 kilometers per hour, nothing to sneeze at there.
Yeah.
So stay safe, Vietnam.
That's strong. All right. Moving on to our last story from around the ASEAN region. MIFFest 2025 to screen 62 films from 48 countries in July. All right.
Yeah.
The 8th Malaysia International Film Festival, MIFFest, or MIFFest, returns to Kuala Lumpur from July 19th to 27th, showcasing 62 films from 48 countries under the theme Infinity. Highlights include a local opener, Nina Vow, a global environmental closing film, Transamazonia, and tributes to Raj Kapoor and Indian women filmmakers. Legendary actor T. Lung will receive the Lifetime Achievement Tribute and Reza Rahadian the Excellent Achievement Award. The festival promises world premieres, open-air screenings, and global storytelling in 43 languages. There we go.
MIFFest.
MIFFest.
Yeah, it's nice to see, the arts being supported in a big way here. They're doing screenings in Thailand as well. Malaysia is putting on this big film festival. There's a much bigger emphasis on cinema coming out of Southeast Asia with this international focus. Screening in over 40 languages. It's pretty wild to me. So it's giving a voice to places that maybe wouldn't usually get the attention. Kudos. Good on the government over there for helping to put on this festival and spread a little awareness of the filmmakers and artists outside of Hollywood.
All right.
It's pretty cool.
There we go.
All right. Well, that'll do it.
That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some of the stories from across Thailand today. You can find more stories on thetiger.com and join
ASEANnow.com.
And you can participate in all the conversations about these stories because it's Thailand's largest news forum.
Indeed, and rapidly growing around the region. Don't forget to subscribe to The Thaiger here on YouTube. You can also click that little join button next to the subscribe button to become a member, where you will get all sorts of benefits like being able to come and tour the studio, hang out with us here, maybe yell at an intern.
Yeah.
No, but we'll also provide you with some swag bag and
T-shirts.
T-shirts, yeah.
And our own personal thumbs up.
And a pat on the back. Don't forget also to follow The Thaiger on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
A social media platform. You'll see a lot of content you would normally see here on the main channel.
Yeah.
If you like that story, please like and subscribe. And for more Thailand news, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok at The Thaiger, or you can go to thetiger.com and join the conversation.